Hey guys, welcome to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda from ajulidreamer.com, and in today's video I will be sharing my March 2021 budget closeout. This is my second budget closeout that I'm sharing on this channel since I started at the beginning of the year. If you are new to this channel, please like this video and subscribe to help my channel along. So let's get right into it. The budget tracker that you can see on the screen is actually one that you can purchase from my Etsy shop. I have been using this tracker for the last 4 to 5 months and I really love it. I'm still tweaking it, and the latest version, which you will see in my April 2021 budget planning, is slightly different to the one that I'm presenting on the screen right now. So for privacy reasons, I have blocked out my salary, I've blocked out my bonus and my carryover income. The only thing I'm sharing freely is my passive income. That is the money that I actually earn from my side hustles, mainly from my blog ajulidreamer.com. So in my budget tracker, obviously I have the expected income or expenditure column, and then actual income or actual expenditure, and then I have the percentage of the income that I have received or the percentage of the income that I've used up. So moving straight to my fixed expenses, my first item is obviously my mortgage. I normally budget £700, but the actual amount is 699.71 pence, and that made up 6% of my March 2021 total income that I had. Then every single month I make sure to pay a little bit extra to my mortgage because I have a repayment type mortgage, so I make a point of paying a little bit extra. So I did my calculations, and from my budget I knew I could afford to put down £133.62, but for the month of March I had a little bit more passive income, so I was able to put £372.51. My council tax is the same, which is £132. This doesn't change, but for the new actual financial year it's changing. So from next month, April, it's gonna change and it'll be £137. So right now it's £132, and that's what I paid. My TV license is £13.37. Food, I normally budget £200, but I was able to spend £85.14 only, which is something new for me because I normally spend a lot on food. Then for my buildings and contents insurance, I always spend £21.97. Then for my life insurance, it's always 166.69 pence. Home emergency insurance is normally £26, but I actually chose to pay this off completely for the whole year, so my next bill will be in April 2022. So this is why it is more than what I budgeted and why it is in red. And then my home maintenance is I was budget £300, but this month I was able to spend a little bit more than usual, purely because I forgot that I had a window cleaner coming over and I completely forgot, but that's okay because I didn't spend that much on food. That just cancels it out. Then electricity, it's about £30, but it's going up to £33. So I always budget £30, but obviously I'm gonna have to increase that in my new budget, and I pay £29. Gas is always £42, but I'm hoping that as the weather warms up, this will actually decrease moving forward, so I'm looking forward to that. My water and sewer was always $17, but somehow it's gone up to $34. I'm not really sure, so I'm going to be checking with the company to find out why my bill is up. And you know, I didn't receive any letter to let me know that it's going to go up, but so I'll be finding out on that. And then my internet and broadband, I was budget £36, but it's £35.37 pence. And then my cable and streaming service, so I've got Sky TV, then I've got all of these streaming services like Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus, all of that jazz. Normally comes up to about £160. So for the month of March I paid £157.21. And then tithe and giving, I'm a Christian and I believe in giving, so for my church and giving to other people I budget £400, and that's how much I've been able to contribute in the month of March. So for fixed expenses I actually spent £2,675.98, which made up 24% of my total income for the month of March. Moving over to my debt expenses, so I did and I say I did because I've completely paid this off. I did have a loan for my Peloton bike, and I figured out how I could repay the loan early. I had the money for a long time, but I just couldn't figure out how to pay early. I figured it out this month, and I was able to pay that off completely. So instead of the usual £166.25 that I normally pay, I actually paid £1,163.75 plus the £166.25, which came to £1,330. So I've cleared that off. I'm so happy that moving forward I actually won't have to pay for my Peloton bike. Then my credit card, this is not the balance that I had on my card, but because there were certain expenses that I wanted to make in the month of March that I actually did make. So what I did was, instead of using my debit card, I just put them on my credit card, bought all the things that I wanted to buy, then moved the money from my credit card, from my debit card, and paid off my credit card instantly. I don't like keeping a balance on my credit card. Since I became debt free, I literally do not like having a balance. So every single time before the interest charges kick in, I always pay off my credit card balance. Then for my car loan payment, so I have a hire purchase loan for my car. I bought this car 3 years ago, so I'm still paying, and at the end of this year I'm supposed to either pay off the balance that's left or return the car and get a new one. I don't intend to get a new one. I intend to pay it off so that this car belongs to me 100%. That is my plan. So what I've done is I've actually added in another row in my budget tracker, which is extra car loan payment, and I'll be adding at least £67.01 every single month, and that brings it up together. The normal payment and the extra payment brings it up to £350. Because I've paid off my Klarna, it means I've now got extra money that I can allocate to my car so I can pay it off earlier, and this is what I'm gonna do. You will see in my April budget planning. And then my car insurance is £62.39. I have a car insurance fund, which means that when my insurance is due for renewal, which is in September, I'm just gonna pay it off completely for the whole year, so I don't have to do monthly repayments. And then for my fuel, I always budget £60, but we haven't been going anywhere. There's been no point to fuel up. So, but this month I was able to fuel up for £20. This is after, I think the last time I fueled up my car was back in November. So this is the first time I'm actually fueling up my car, and I'm quite happy that I was not able to use all of my £60 that I allocated. My road tax, this is not due for another, I don't know how many months, but it's due in September, so that's why this is blacked out. Then my MOT and my annual car service, so my annual car service is due actually tomorrow, so this is why there isn't an amount in there. But what I would do is I'll just subtract from my fund money once I pay that, because right now I'm thinking it's gonna be 238, which is what it was last year. So it could be less, I'm not sure. So this is why I have not filled that out. So far for debt expenses, I've spent £2,735.14. For my personal expenses, there's quite a lot of things that I blew the budget on purely because I was raiding my sinking funds for these things. So the majority of it being miscellaneous. There was a lot of things that happened in March that I catered for, so it's a good thing that I save all the time, and I was able to just raid my savings account, not my one savings account, my sinking fund, where my sinking fund I keep my sinking funds, and I was just able to raid that and then use that money. But I've blacked that out because I know you can calculate my total personal expenses, my debt expenses and total expenses, and you'll be able to figure out almost how much I make, because I am blocking out all of the the actual income that came in and all my total expenditures. So, but I did spend over £1,000 more than I normally do for my total for my expenses, which is, it's huge, but what can we do? This is the month that I had. And then moving over to my savings, again, I've blocked out my savings completely for privacy reasons, but what I have kept there is just to show you that I do save for my emergency fund. I feel like this is really important to talk about, that you should have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. And Dave Ramsey, who everybody knows, this money guru, suggests that for somebody like me who's a single person living alone, I should aim for 6 months, which is what I'm aiming for, because for someone like me, if you lose your job, that's your one source of income done. I mean, sure, I do have passive income coming in, but that's not frequent or even close to how much I make from my day job. So this is why I'm aiming to save 6 months worth of in my emergency fund. So I have calculated that, and for me it will take me, if I put in £435 a month, I'll be able to reach that goal in no time. Then I have holiday money because I love traveling a lot. Until Corona, I was traveling once or twice a month abroad, just finding somewhere in Europe to explore. And then for my longer holidays, I'll go normally to South Korea because that's where my best friend lives and I love going there. So yeah, I save about £200 for my holiday. And then for my everyday saver, I actually put £500. Now this is more like my home maintenance savings account, because normally what I use it for is for my things around my home. Like for example, I'm having my backyard done up next month, or actually no, May, which means that I will need to pay, you know, the people that will do the work outright, and this is why I just raid that savings pot, because that's where I keep all of that money for things like that. Then for my tax, because I make money from my side hustles, HMRC says you gotta pay, so I save about 20 to 30% of whatever I earn, but for the purpose of my track I just put in £50, because there are times when I actually only make £50 that month, or £100, or nothing at all. So it really depends. This month was a different month that I was able to make that much money. Then for my investment, I'm blocking this out completely because this is for my privacy reasons. To be honest, I don't want to share how much I put towards my investment, but who knows, maybe if you like this video and subscribe, I might start revealing how much I put towards my investments. But I do have mutual funds, single shares, ETFs, bonds, all of that jazz, and I invest in them, and I've invested for the last couple of years and it works for me. And there are so many investment gurus on YouTube, so you can just check out one of them and you can get an idea. I'm not a financial advisor, so I cannot advise you on the types of investments that you should get yourself into. Then I have in my savings section called fund money. So this fund money is actually money that I don't actually spend on fun, because I do have the other section, personal expenses, so like socialization, miscellaneous, eating out, all of that jazz is covered in my personal expenses section. So but for fund money, it's kind of like the money that I call fund money, but it actually just stays in my account and I roll it over to the next month. And this is, I just didn't have another name for it, so this is what I called it. But also I like to have this and use this money that's left over as the basis of my planning the budget for the new month, and that helps me a lot. So yep, so that's it on the savings part. And then if you see, for those of you who use my tracker or have seen my previous video, you know I've got a total expenditure section. So this just calculates for you all of your expenditures, so your fixed expenses, your debt expenses, your personal expenses, as well as your savings. So I have the column for expected, I have a column for what I actually spent, and then I have a percentage, income percentage, so how much of my fixed expenses, you know, that chunk, how much of it did I eat from my income, and then I calculate that down and should all come down to 100%. And this is what my tracker for now has. Remember, I still have my car service to pay for, but I'm just going to subtract whatever my car service money is from my total savings, and then that will balance it all out again. So I follow a zero budget approach, which means my income minus my expenditures equals a zero. This does not mean that I spend all of that money. Like you've seen, I do have a box for fun money, and that is where whatever is left over that I have not used, for example my fixed expenses or towards my debt or even personal expenses, I just put as my fund money, and then that just balances out my tracker, and then I move that money over to the new month, and then I start my budget planning. So that is it for my March 2021 budget closeout. I hope you like this video. If you stayed this long watching this video, then please do not forget to hit that like button. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.